I don't know. Maybe welfare is doing something. It's keeping them occupied. I don't know. But as a whole, we're wasting money. It's a big waste of time. It's a big waste of money. Bottom line, you're lazy. Get a job. Get a job. That's it.
Get a job.
I went to Buffalo this year for an EMS conference. I was panhandled in the period of 2 hours 8 times. And the poor son of a bitch who asked me the last time got yelled at. I lost it. I lost my mind. I asked him why he couldn't get a job. And he just kept saying, oh, I can't get a job. I can't get a job.
Did it cross your mind to just beat the shit out of the guy?
A couple times, yeah. But
was it with the 8 different times that you got that they approached you? Was it all the same person or all different people the whole time?
A couple times it was the same person, but most of the time it's all different people.
They didn't get the fucking hint the first time that you told them
I'm
no?
actually kind of starting to think they have their own little organization.
The organization of the jobless.
Jobless.
Begging is an industry in and of itself.
They plan out a grid every night between the hours of like 6 and 8. They post sentries, people to watch. They have phones. They have phones.
They get track phones. They can afford track phones.
You can put like 10 cents at a time on there.
Well, the thing is, too, is with the money that they beg out of people within a week's time, I mean, how many people... I bet you there's more people than not that give these people money.
Yeah.
If there was nobody giving them the money, they wouldn't keep doing it. But they're still doing it. They're making the money. They're still alive, which obviously tells you they're making the money.
There was a gentleman not too long ago who actually decided to prove that you could panhandle for a living. I wish I knew the name of this
How
gentleman.
do you do with that?
He made $45,000 in a year.
In a year?
It's more than I make.
That's more than a lot of people make.
Yeah.
My buddy that works in Wheatsport doing the television stuff for a living doesn't even make $45,000 a year, and that's a professional career.
Then again, that's untaxed too. So, but even then,
no,
you're still making
it's completely taxed.
No. The panhandle. I mean, even then, you're still making $30,000 a year.
Exactly. Think about how much more he's making than the people that are getting taxed. And we're basically, not only is our tax paying for these people to continue living, but we're also throwing them fucking $5 here and there on the side.
Yep.
I mean, we're not doing it personally, but you know, there's always that one person in the car, the guy comes up with a little fucking spray thing and a washcloth, and they feel bad, okay? They feel bad about it. They let the person wash the... First of all, okay, I've got a 1993 Pontiac Grand Am. You're not fucking touching my car. Okay, that's all there is to it. You're not touching it. So this guy that's driving down the street in a brand new fucking Hyundai... The guy washes his windshield, throws him a fucking $5 out the window. Why would you do that? Is there self-guilt there? They feel that they have to give him the money?
One thing I don't understand about a lot of these people is when did it occur to them that begging somebody for money, like, to the point where you're washing their windows while they're threatening to kill you unless you don't get away from the vehicle, when was that easier than walking into, say, a McDonald's, which is always hiring, getting an application, filling it out, and I guarantee you, I was at that lowest point in my life at one point or another. I had to work. I needed a job. I got laid off from Guardian. I was making great money there, and then all of a sudden, boom, it was done. They're like, well, you can't work here anymore. And I was taking a walk one night, and there's a McDonald's here in town, and it occurred to me that place always has a now hiring sign. It sucked. I hated it. But I did it. I got a job. I worked. I was up at 5 a.m. every friggin' day making minimum wage. But you know what? I got through it. I did it. And I don't understand why these people can't. And I said it before and I'll say it again. It boils down to laziness.
You know, and this is something I don't mean any ill will towards you for. But myself, when I was young, when I was fucking 10 years old, and that's no shit, I vowed to myself, call it a pride matter, whatever you want, I would never work in a fast food industry. I went unemployed for a year and a half before I finally... Actually, no, that's a lie, because I worked at school specialty for 3 days before I said, this is fucking dumb. And then...
Well, see, this is where I suppose I can disagree with you, is you were unemployed.
I was unemployed.
Where does that get you? How does that help you? Since I couldn't wait till the day. The idea of going to work, making my own money, buying my own things... So that way, at that age, it's more or less like a parent issue. So your parents can't tell you what to do with your money. But you chose to be unemployed. What did you do while you were unemployed?
Well, at the time, I was in a bad place in my life. I had a girlfriend who was pregnant with a child that wasn't mine. that didn't work out too well. But fortunately, you know, I was just out of high school, 18 years old. I was still living at home. That's the only thing I really had going for me. My parents would just happen to be good enough to keep helping me and supporting me through all that bullshit. And like I said, school specialty for 3 days. Believe it or not, got me a $200 paycheck for 3 days.
Well, yeah, I mean, you make decent money there. They better pay you decent.
Well, I think I was just like $7.75
But what I'm
an
trying
hour.
to say is, you chose to be. I don't want to say you chose to be unproductive, but by being unemployed, by definition, you are not. You're not producing anything for yourself.
You're right.
So what were you doing? I mean, how did that help you?
It didn't help me.
And that's probably my biggest point is through any of this is that working helps you. It's always helped me. What bad can you get from it? Yeah, you might have to get up at crappy hours during the day. You might work a lot. I work a lot, but most of that I think is by choice.
But at the same time, in my own defense, though, you know, I wasn't one of those people that was constantly out in the street just fucking getting myself into trouble, you know.
But
begging
even still, you're still sitting at home not doing anything.
Yeah, I was sitting at home not doing anything,
that's what
but
I
I
mean.
wasn't a drain on the fucking economic system either.
Well, I mean, you kind of are. I mean, I was paying for you in one way or another.
I wasn't collecting unemployment checks.
Doesn't matter. I mean, I'm still working and you're not. That's the thing. That's my biggest issue with people who don't work and have no good reason for it. Like saying, what was your basis for not wanting to work at a fast food place?
I didn't like the lifestyle of it. It's like
What
I said,
lifestyle?
I couldn't fathom. I couldn't fathom the idea of sitting there flipping burgers. I couldn't do it.
How is that any different in when you boil it down than what you do now?
Well, it's a little different, but we're not going to get into that. I don't want to lose my job because I do make $7.85 an hour there. I mean, it's not much, but it pays the bills. And at the same time, when I did get that job, one of the first,
in turn, not to cut you off, that's my point. It pays the bills. There's things you need to get done, and asking somebody,
I had no bills at the time.
I need this, I need that, but you needed stuff though. There's always something you needed, and
it was no different than being in school. I continued living life.
And at what point do you stop that?
Pretending that I'm in school?
Yeah.
When I'm not in school anymore.
Which you didn't do. You opted to not work.
I was more or less a housemaid. I took care of the house.
And you'd rather have that lifestyle over flipping burgers and earning a living?
I'd rather stay at home cleaning the house than flipping a burger. At least, well, at that point, though, it's my house.
Not really, because you don't pay for
Well,
it.
I didn't mean my house per se.
See, that's the glory about getting a job, is because now everything you have and that you make is yours.
Yeah, and I will admit, I got that job, and the first thing that I did was left that bitch of a girlfriend. That's another thing we'll get into here in a minute. I left that bitch of a girlfriend, and I moved in with another bitch of a girlfriend for a couple years, and now I'm back at home again, still making $7.85 an hour. But I've got cooler toys now, so than I did then. I didn't have any toys then.
Mm-hmm.